Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I've got my window open because the weather has been so beautiful today. Although I'm recording this rather late, I was planning earlier, frankly, on doing Marty's new Rat Run puzzle season 3, which came out today. So that's what I had in my mind earlier on. But then life has totally got away from me, and I'm recording this at 5:30 in the afternoon, which is very, very unusual. I normally try and record sort of early afternoon, just in case I have huge issues with the puzzle. So I'm relying on the great Ard van der Wetering coming up trumps today. This puzzle is called XII. Which is the Roman numeral style for 12, and I think that must be because we've got 12 X's in the grid, and no 3x3 boxes. So yeah, I don't know if you can strictly call this a Sudoku today. Maybe it's a Latin square with a little extra rule. But yeah, the testers say this is Ard's usual beautiful quality puzzle. Ard is an incredible setter. Recently, his puzzle that we featured in a video called a Sudoku with only 4 given digits went over 10 million views, and many other Ard puzzles have garnered over 1 million views. He is an incredibly popular constructor of puzzles, and I'm hoping that is what we'll find today. Ard's puzzles aren't normally monstrous, but they normally take a little bit of thought. So they hit a very, very, exact sweet spot that makes you think in all the right ways. So I'll read you the rules of this one, which are going to take me about 20 seconds to read the rules. There are not many of them in a moment or two's time. But what can I mention before we kick off and do some solving? Our competition for the month of February is now closed. The Skunkworks Duality 3, which garnered an enormous response. We will be picking the winner very soon. I sort of hoped Mark would pick it during the Blueprint stream, but he didn't seem to have the stuff to hand to do that. But anyway, I'll try and get Mark. Mark normally organises that because he knows how to get a computer to pick a random number. But I'll try and get him to give me a name for tomorrow's video. And I've got loads of birthdays to do today. So let's kick into those. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Oh, and of course I am going to have missed somebody, aren't I? But I might be able to put it right. Hang on. Right, anyway, let's start. Edward, it's your birthday. You've turned 21 today. I know this because your roommate Daniel wrote to me and told me you fall asleep while watching the videos. You find my voice comforting and warm, which I took to be euphemistic for dull and dreary. I can't help it. It's the only voice I've got. Edward, I hope you have a great 21st birthday. I hope the chocolate cake is splendid, of course. Next, Jessa, it's your birthday today, and I know this because I had an email from Eric who told me that you've just moved from Arizona to Maryland, and he is very, very happy about that because you are much closer. And apparently pineapple upside down cake is the cake of choice today. Now that brought back memories of my grandmother, who used to make pineapple upside down cake when I was a very small child, and I still remember it to this day. It was something of a speciality of hers. So thank you for that nice memory. And Jessa, I hope you have a great birthday, obviously. From Maryland, we will go over to Stockholm, where I'm going to mispronounce your name. Is it Troisty? Is that how I say that? Troisty is turning 29 today. Troisty works in the film industry and has been watching since COVID, which I guess was quite a difficult time for the film industry. I seem to remember Tom Cruise having terrible troubles with the Mission Impossible films at that time. But Troisty sent me a picture of what I agree did look like a lovely chocolate cake that his work colleagues got for him. I think and another person had a birthday this week. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it? But I didn't know. I couldn't have done anything more quickly. But Troy Steele, many happy returns. Happy 29th. Next, AJ. AJ, you've turned 19 today. I know this because your dad Wayne wrote to me. Wayne, I think I remember you. Do you have a Star Wars room? I think you might have a Star Wars room, and if you do, that's frankly incredible. But AJ, I know it's your first year at uni, and I'm told by Wayne that you both enjoy very long videos. So the longer it takes me to solve the puzzles, the happier you are. Well, yeah, haven't been any absolute monsters recently. Icy Fruit, I think, has been quiet on the setting front. So perhaps until and unless there is another Icy Fruit monstrosity, the videos may only be up to 2 hours long. Anyway, AJ, many happy returns. Jimmy, you've turned 22 today. I remember you and your sister Lucy. Jimmy is at Swansea in his final year at university, and I have met them both for both our previous appearances. That's such a pretentious way of putting it? At Stratford. When we've done the live shows at the Stratford-upon-Avon Literary Festival, Jimmy and Lucy have been there both times, and I was hoping to show you a picture of that, but I think I've messed up my opportunity. I tell you what, I might be able to edit it in afterwards. I will try and do that. Jimmy's the one in the blue coat, if I remember the right picture correctly. Anyway, Jimmy, many happy returns. And then finally, this is a really cool one. Emu, it's your 47th birthday today. And I know this because your great friend, is it Akos, wrote to me? I think you're in Hungary, but I've discerned that from the email address rather than anything else. And I can tell you, I think this is incredible. Akos took one of Emu's poems, which I think was written about 20 years ago, and attempted to translate it into English so that I could read it out today as a birthday present to his friend. And I thought, what an absolutely incredible thing to do. So I'm sure I won't be able to do it justice, but I will try. So this is Emu's poem. It's called Sometimes I'm Afraid, as translated by Emu's friend, Akos. It goes like this. Sometimes I'm afraid to think or to pick up the pen, when all my thoughts have already been written by other men. Even my life was once lived by every one of them, my clothes so well worn, and even my soul condemned. I'm afraid that I'm afraid, and it's not those who should, those who do ill and in my name do the foul things they do. I'm afraid that I fail and don't live as well as I could, that those in my steps are the ones who want to do the good. Sometimes I'm afraid, and now to the brim, sitting in my soul a figure with a nasty grin. He wakes, he crawls, forms my fate to be grim, and in timeless space he breaks me in. I'm afraid he hides the sun with endless black, using what he gained from me, what he lacked. He chains me down on naked rocks to shackle, and in thirst he puts me to sleep with his vicious pact. O dearest dream where the soul resides, I do not listen to your voice, I apologize, sounding all my mortal latent cries. Without your permit I closed my eyes. I think that's very, very well done. to translate something into another language and still make it scan and have sense, I think is really, really talented, and it's a lovely thing you've done there. Emu, I liked your poem very much, and Akos, I liked what you did there very, very much indeed. So there we go. And with that said and done, I think that's all the news. Let's have a look at XII by Ard van der Wetering. Let's do some solving together. I will just check that the recording is working. I think it's working. That's good. Right, the rules of Ard's puzzle are as follows. Place the digits 1 to 9, once each, in every row and column. Okay, so we haven't got 3 by 3 boxes, so we can't do that. No digit shares an edge with a consecutive digit. Okay, so that's a non-consecutive constraint. So if this was a 3, this digit could not be 2 or 4, and neither could that one, and neither could that one, and neither could that one, because they would share an edge with the 3. And each straight line is a palindrome. And that's it. So what does that mean? Well, I mean, bluntly, I think it means that that's a 7, because that's a straight line on the sort of positive diagonal of that x. So it must read the same in both directions. That's the nature of a palindrome. It has to read the same backwards and forwards. So there's loads of 2-cell palindromes in this puzzle. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, I mean, technically, I've been given 6 digits here. But I think because that must be a 7 and that must be a 6, effectively I've been given 8 digits. And what I really hope is that I don't have to use the non-consecutive constraint too much. I'm not very good at non-consecutives. I mean, originally there was a non-consecutive constraint. We used to see quite a lot of that in the early days of the channel. Certainly the Miracle Sudoku had a non-consecutive constraint. But I'm not used to scanning for it. I find it difficult to say, look at that cell and go, oh, it can't be 6 or 8. Yeah, okay. I mean, for example, that cell is a naked single, and that is not, it doesn't come naturally to me to see that. You can see it can't be 2, 7, 9 or 4 very clearly, but it also can't be 1 or 3 because they would be consecutive with 2, and it can't be 6 or 8 because they would be consecutive with 7. So I think all that's left is 5. I'm going to put 5 in. I'm just going to check I agree with my brain. 4 can't be 4. Yeah, I think that's got to be a 5. Now, what does that mean? Don't know. Don't know. It's not some sort of set trick, this puzzle, is it? If you've got... Yeah, so whatever you put on an X, you basically eliminate it from the rest of the row. Yeah, the moment this is a 6, 6 can't appear in any of those cells, can it? Yes, so, okay, so here is a way of thinking about the puzzle. Gaps might be the important thing to think about. Actually, rather than the X's, we might think about the gaps. So what I can see is if we look at row 8 and 9 here, because whatever I put on the X are just going to duplicate and rule themselves out of the rest of the 2 rows together, because there will be 2 of that digit in the 2 rows, row 8 and row 9, the digits in the gaps have to be duplicated as well, because you couldn't put only one of them on an X. So I think this has to be a 9, because what I'm saying, I'm not saying it in a very articulate way, but I think what I'm trying to express is that these 3 digits, you can't put this 9 on an X in row 9, because then it'll get transplanted along the X to the upper limb of the X and repeat in row 8. So 9 must be in one of those 3 cells in row 9, and it can't be in its own column, and it's not equal to 5. So I think that's 9, and that's 5 by the same logic in row 8. This 5 has to find a home in the gaps. And these 2 digits will be the same. Now, I am prepared to do this. What does that mean they are? This digit, I don't know. Let's actually do a full audit. It could be 1, 2, or 3, probably. Can't be 4, 5. Can't be 6. It could be 7 bobbins. Can't be 8, can't be 9. Can't be 8 because it would be consecutive with 9. Now, can we do better when we put that there then? So this digit is the same as this digit. And that hasn't improved our lot in life, has it? Oh. Right, but this is rather cute. Because the logic I've just done in rows 8 and 9, I can now repeat in columns 8 and 9, look. There must be a 9 off the X's in column 8. So where is it? It's got to be there. The 5s do mimic each other, so this square is green. No, it doesn't quite work. But it's got this has got to be the green cell, because again, whatever this digit is, it can't go on an X. Oh, okay, so that's. Well, it's going to be something like. I'm going to keep trying to do this. So in row 6, these 3 digits include the digits 2 and 5. Because they must, because 2 and 5 can't go on an X. So 2 is in one of those cells, 5 is in one of these cells. 2 and 5 are not consecutive, so there's no problem with that. Yeah, okay, here is a very weird point about that. Look at these 2 columns now. Now I think I have just established that 5 is in one of those 2 cells. Which means 5 cannot be on an X in columns 3 or 4. Because if it was, it would appear twice on the X and rule itself out of these cells. But I know it's in one of those cells. So 5 has to be, it can't be here. 5 is, there's a sort of X wing of 5s. There's a notional X of 5s in that domino. Because there's 1 5 in this column, 1 5 in this column. That's 2 5s altogether in the columns, no 5s on the X's, and no 5s in this domino because of this 5. So, but yes. So what that means is that where's 2 in column 3 is the question. Again, same logic. It's got to be in this domino. But I know one of these 2 cells is a 5, because either the 5s in the finished grid are going to be like that, or they're going to be like that. So one of these is a 5, but one of these is also a 2. So these are a 2-5 pair. No. Ard is sort of, he's such a clever constructor. This is a weird puzzle. But it feels very novel and fresh in a good way. So this digit, what can that digit be? That digit has to be in one of those 2 cells. But it's not 1 or 3, because they would be consecutive with 2. Now, could it be 4? No. That's very strange. I don't think this can be 4. Because if it was 4, by our logic that we've learned, one of these would be a 4. But we'd have to put the 4 into the yellow, where we know it would be next to a 5 once we filled the 5s in. So that can't be 4. It can't be 5. What about 6? If it was 6, this would... No, that's absolutely ridiculous. How could this be 6? Same problem. 6 can't go next to the 5 that we've got in column 5. And if it's here, we unwind our 5x swing like this, and that puts the 6 next to a 5. So it can't be 6, it can't be 7. It's 8 or 9. Now, if it... No, actually, what I was about to say is wrong, so let's be careful. So it's 8 or 9. And... Oh, I bet it can't be 9 for some reason. Sorry, I'm just seeing this 9 and this 9. There's some reason this can't be 9. I just can't see what it is. But no. But okay, and we know those 3 digits. If we take those as a set, they are a 2, a 5, and an 8 or a 9. And we know they repeat in those 3 digits. So these are from 5, 8, and 9, and that is not a 9. And the same is true with these 3 digits and these 3 cells. These are the same digits. So this digit has to be, well, it has to be 2, 5, 8, or 9, but it can't be 5 and it can't be 9. So that's 2 or 8. So okay, I'm not sure. So if this is, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do that. It's probably necessary to pencil mark this, isn't it? I don't want to do that at all. Because I don't really know. I don't really know where I feel. I suppose this being 8 or 9 removes 8 or 9 from it. Well, I mean, this already couldn't be 9, but it can't be 8 because then it would be consecutive with the cell above it. I just don't think that. I think this is more likely to be restricted because this can't be 1, 2, or 3. So that one's 4. It can't be 5 because it would get transplanted here along the X and that would clash. So 4 can't be 6. Can't be 7. It would get transplanted here. Can't. I see that. How are you meant to spot that? That is bizarre. I think this is a naked 4. I'm not sure I trust that. It can't be 1, 2, or 3. 5 would go here. That's 5 and 6. Actually, they're obviously ruled out. 7 would put it next to... It's a naked 4. I just didn't notice it. Okay. So... Right, so what can we put on the other limb of this X? We could put on it, we could put 1 on it, couldn't we? Why couldn't we put 1 on it? That feels alright. We can't put 2 on it by Sudoku, or Latin square, however we want. We can't put 3 on it, 3 and 4 are consecutive. Can't put 4 on it, can't put 5 on it, 4 and 5 are consecutive. Can't put 6 on it. So 1, 7. I was going to say 8, but I've remembered I can't put 8 because it would be consecutive with this digit. So this is 1 or 7 only. The birds are going crazy. I've heard of the dawn chorus. I didn't know there was an evening chorus. It's just getting sort of dark outside and the bats are starting to fly. But it sounds like there's a lot of bird song as well. Is it this green thing? If that's... Well, if it's 1 or 7, I'd have a 1-7 pair in the bottom row, and then I'd have to put 2, 3, and 8 into the bottom row. I suppose you couldn't put 2 and 3 on an X. Eight. No. Well, no, 8 is a bit restricted in this row. Can't go next to 9, can it? So 8's either there or there. 2 possible positions, and then of course it'll get transplanted. But I think it could probably be transplanted. Yeah, okay. What that means is that this dark green cell is not 7. Because if it's 7, obviously this purple couldn't be 8 then, they would be consecutive. So you'd have to put the 8 in the other purple. So this would be 7 and this would be 8. And this would be a 2-3 pair, which we just said is impossible because they would be consecutive with each other. So green is not 7. Now, does that do anything? And I rather fear the answer might be no. Oh, no. Oh, I've done this wrong. Okay, I think I should have thought about 7 in this row, shouldn't I? Where's 7 in row 8? It can't go there. And it certainly can't be on this purple next to this 6. So 7's placed. 7's just placed in this bottom area of the grid. Now, so I see. So now my purple one can't be 8. So the 8 in the row is placed. So I get an 8 for my troubles. And I get 1s, 2s, and 3s into the gaps. But can we do... No. I was going to say, can we do any better than that? And unfortunately, I don't think I can, because these 1s, 2s, and 3s are sort of, they're too far away. Well, unless the 4... No, the 4 doesn't interrupt them. Okay, so that's not how to do it. But this is 7, so this has to be 9. Because it can't be 8 anymore. And now, that's big. That's big. Because now these 3 digits are 2, 5, 9. Oh, I thought they were not going to be that, because I thought the 9s were going to somehow pinion those possibilities and put a stop to them. But where's the 9 in this row? Because we know these digits are the off the X digits in rows 6 and 7, that's got to be 9 now. Which tells us how our 5 X-wing unwinds. This is now a 2. So we've got 952 here, 952 here. We should have 259 here, or 592 if you prefer. That's a 2. So green is now 1 or 3. And I don't know what that does. It probably does loads if you're good at non-consecutive. What about the X's at the top of columns 3 and 4 then? What do we need there? We can put in 1, 3, 6, 8. That's annoying. Oh no, okay, 3 can't go next to 4 here. But there's no real... Oh, hang on, I'm wrong. The 2 here stops this being 1 or 3. And the 5 here stops this being 6. So there is more we could do. Oh no, but not quite enough. I don't think that's resolved. We can't do any tricks with row 5 or column 5, can we? Because we don't have any X's interplaying with them. All right, let's try this one then. What's this X limb? This is not 1, 2, or 3 again. Could it be 4? And this would be 4, which looks okay to me. Can't be 5, can't be 6, 7, or 8. So this is a naked 4. Because everything else has been ruled out by the non-consecutive rule. So now maybe we're meant to look at rows 6 and 7, where we need 1, 3. It's quite cool the way that you can pencil mark all 8 of these digits with the missing digits, which are 1, 3, 6, 8. And then you can immediately rule 6 out of these because of this. And you can rule 3 out of this one because of the 4 it's next to. You can rule 8 out of this one because it's next to 9. So this is 1 or 3. This one is not 6 or 8. 6 would be next to 7, naughty. 8 would be next to 9, naughty. So this is 1, 3. This is 1, 3. And that's a 1, 3 pair in the rows. So this has got to be 8. That's got to be 6. This now can't be a 2 because it would be next to 1 or 3, and that would be too naughty for words. Now I've got a 1, 3 pair in row 9, so that's a 2. I've got 1, 3 pairs in columns 8 and 9. I do quite like this. It's weird, but in a good way. 2, 4, 7, 8 in this column. But we can see this can't be 2, it would be next to 1 or 3. We can see this can't be 8, it would be next to 9. So these can't be 4. These can't be 4. Oh, so those can't be 4. Oh, hang on. We've got to be careful with this X. Just this 4 at the top has quite a profound effect. Because stopping 4 being in either of those stops 4 being in either of these, which means there is definitely a 4 on this, 2 4s on that X. But more important, surely, is that this cannot be a 7, 8 pair. If we had, say, double 7 and double 8, they would be consecutive. So there must be a 2 on this one. So there is no 2 on this one. So there is a 4 on here. Whoops. There is a 4 on here. There is a 2 on here. Bobbins, and that doesn't actually seem to do anything particularly exceptional, does it? So maybe this one? I'm not overly convinced, but we'll have a go. It cannot. And the thing is, it's got so many options. Or maybe it's stats. No, it's not, is it? Sorry, I can't quite see what to do here. Or is it something to do? Oh yeah, here's a weird point. No, that's not even true. No, it must be true. It must be true. Where's 4 in row 2? It's not on the X, is it? So 4 is in this domino. But now I can sort of do that trick with columns 1 and 2. I now know that 4 is in the white cells. It's not on X's. So 4 must appear twice in the white cells, whilst not being in the same row or column of it as itself. So there is a 4 in one of those cells. Nearly. If that was the 4, that would be huge, because then this would be a 1. But this X is now not made up of 1 or 3 or 4 or 6 or 8. So it is 2, 5, 7 or 9. which unfortunately I don't think I can do anything with at all. Okay, this is 6 or 8, so this is definitely not 7, because 7 will be consecutive with this cell. Okay. I know this has got 1 of 7 or 8 on it. This has got 1 of 7 or 8 on it. It can't be this, can it? I sort of ignored this earlier because I didn't think it was going to do anything. I still am very far from convinced it will do anything. I'm going to fully pencil mark it. 1, 3, 5, 6, 9. But this can't be 3 or 5, and that can't be 3 or 5 because it would be next to the 4 here. Here's a weird point, which I actually don't think is going to be enormously powerful, but I'm just going to mention it. 2 is not in these cells because there's 2 2s in that domino. 2 is not in those cells. So in columns 1 and 2, there is a 2 definitely on this X. Which is, it's a little bit interesting, but it's not enough to be very. I mean, it would be, no. I mean, actually, let's temper that slightly. It would be massive if I knew that was the 2, because then this would be an 8, and that would knock 8 out of all of those. Is there something going on in these rows here? Is there a digit that we haven't pencil marked on those X's? We've pencil marked 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, or 9s. No, that's not how to do it. All right, so we've got to try something different. And that's all very well, but where do we look next? Do I somehow know these green cells? Actually, something I've just noticed is that these green cells, whatever they are, they have to go into those cells as well. So we've got lots of greens going around the grid. That's almost beautiful because it almost allows me to ask where is green in row 5, and it's got 2 possible positions. Unfortunately, it's one of those 2. Yeah, I don't think I can quite do anything clever with that. Is there some way I know? I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Okay, so let's think about something else then. It's all very well to say that, isn't it? But it's not obvious to me how we do this. So maybe it's these X's in these cells. Because so imagine this was 2, 7 at the top. Then this would be 4, 8, but the 7s that poke down here would not be able to be next to the 8. So you're going to get a staircase like this, or like this, made up of 7s and 8s. And then you're going to get a staircase made up of 2s and 4s. Yeah, I don't think that is the crucial thing, is it? Oh my! I don't know if you could hear that. That was a very strange siren. Right. So what is it then that I have to do? It could. I don't know at all. I really don't know. No, what I was about to say is gibberish, so I refuse to utter it again. Could it be... Have I pencil marked everything in rows 1 and 2? 1, 2, 3s I see. 4 I've sort of thought about. 5 could be on this one. 6 could be on that one. 7 could be on that one. 8 and 9. Yeah. Yes, I have, is the short answer. 8s and 6s. And 1s and 3s. Yeah, these can't be 1s, 3s, 6s or 8s. So 1s, 3s, 6s and 8s have to occupy those X positions, because they couldn't be here, because then they'd get transplanted back over here, wouldn't they? So 1s, 3s, 6s and 8s. 1, 3, 6 and 8 are 4 of the limbs on those X's. But again, unless I'm missing something, which I could very well be, it feels like that's okay, that's not putting enough pressure on the world. Oh, it's not going to be, I'm not going to have to pencil mark row 5, am I? It's possible I'm meant to do that. Like there's going to be, we'll find out this is a naked single or something. I don't think it is, but it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So it is or 6, 7 or 8. See, that's sort of surprising, isn't it? That can only be 7 or 8, which means, of course, this it never could have been 7 or 8. But if that's not 7 or 8, this can't be 7 or 8. Yeah, so maybe I do have to think about this column. Yeah, here is a question. This is weird. I'm not even sure it's right, actually. Okay, here's the question I want to ask. You can all ridicule me. I'm going to ask where 6 is in column 5. Now, I don't seem to have put it in any existing pencil mark cell. Now, if I did write 6 in here, which would be legitimate, I don't think there's anything immediately obvious as to why that's a problem. However, if we do put 6 there, what we've learned is we couldn't now put 6 on the X's. So in row 1, 6 would be in one of these two cells, where it definitely cannot be. Now what that means is that 6 in column 5 is in one of those two cells. Now if it's in one of those two cells, we've also learned that it must repeat in one of those two cells. So there's no way you can put 6 on this, because there's 2 6s in those cells there. So those two have got to be 8. These, that doesn't quite do those, but if these are 8, this is now not 9. And if this is 1 or 3, this is not 2, because it would be consecutive with it. So we actually get the 2 into those cells. Now, okay, I see. So now these 8s take, so this is a 4, 7x, which means we can take 7 off the top x. That becomes 2, 8, which means that, we already knew that wasn't 8 if I'd figured out, if I'd followed through on my, this is good. Yeah, because one of these is a 6, I don't know which one it is. But again, we can just apply the same logic again. Because there's a 6 in one of those, there's 2 6s in the gaps in those cells. So there's no 6 on this thing up here. So there's now definitely a 6 on this X. Now, has this helped us? Is the next question. It's something. Whether it's enough, I don't know yet. There's definitely a 6. There's going to be 1 6 in there, isn't there? Yeah, that's lovely. This is beautiful, actually. I think this is right. So I worked out there are 2 6s in the orange region, and one of them is there. So there is 1 6 in there only, in this 2x2, but there must be 2 6s in this column, which means there's 1 6 in this domino here. And if there's 1 6 in there, it can't go next to the 7, so it's got to go there. And now this has to be 8, because it can't be 7. I probably should have pencil marked this column. I have a feeling that would have made things simpler, but I have had fun doing it this way. Now, in this row, 1, 3, 4, and 7. Oh, this is a 1 or a 3. It can't be 4 or 7. So this is a 4, 7 pair. And I know the order because of the 8. So that's 7. That's 4. This is now not a 7. And there must be a second 7 in this little quadruple. But there's only 1 in there, because otherwise there would be 3 7s in the first 2 columns. So there's 1 7 there, but the white cells, now I've made them grey, in rows 1 and 2 must include 2 7s. So this has to be a 7, which means this is not a 6. And now I've got a 1, 3 pair in the column, so this has to be a 6. That's a 6. This means this one is not a 7. Now we'll worry about other things. No, that 7 doesn't impact on that one, does it? Okay, but we can look at column 5, where we have not put in 1s, 3s, and 6s. And we can't put the 6 next to the 7. So the 6 goes there. But there has to be another 6 in that 2x2. And by Latin square, that's now here, which forces this to be 4, these to be 7. This now can't be 8, so they're 2, they're 8. This now can't be 9, so they're 1. It's really interesting, this. Oh no, can't quite do. The 1 means these are 3s. So this is 1, that's 3. Which means green, after all this time, has become a 1. Oh, that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Now, what about that one? That's a 3, apparently. So in this column, we've not put 5 and 9, and that one's going to have to be 9, because 6 would be, and 5 would be consecutive. So this is a 5 pair. And in this column, we haven't put in 3 and 9. That's a relief. Okay, so this is 5 and 5. And then we've got this thing to do. Well, 4 has to go there, apparently, just by Sudoku. So that's going to give us 9 in the corner, which gives us 7 here if we trust our pencil marking. And that's going to be a 9 as well. Now, do we think that's correct? I have no confidence at all, but it is. Oh no, it doesn't include the solution. No. Oh my goodness, that's a nightmare. Oh no. I thought the tester would have put that in for me. That's bad news. Because that means I'm going to have to check it. Oh goodness. I mean, I think I did it logically, and the fact what the solution check inbuilt in the software checks is have I repeated a digit in a row or column, but it won't check the non-consecutive constraint. So if I've botched that up, this will be a very bad thing indeed. But anyway, I hope I haven't. I will have to check now. Do let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.